it's JK with you here and welcome back to FUNNELIZE. Now, like in the previous video, I'm going to be giving you an installation and testing walkthrough of the Google Tag Manager. If you already know how to install it, maybe you already have it installed on all the pages of your site, you can go ahead and skip over this video. Now, one thing I do want to point out, if you have any experience with digital marketing, you're probably aware that you can actually integrate the Facebook pixel into Google Tag Manager and keep all of your pixels in one specific place instead of jumping between Facebook and Google. I've done that before, and on more than one occasion things have not created custom audiences for me correctly, so that's why I don't teach it, because it's just something that if it doesn't work 100% of the time, I don't like to teach other people how to do it. So that's the first thing I want to point out. The next thing I'm going to point out is that the Google Tag Manager is an amazingly cool tool. You can use it to integrate with a bunch of different platforms online, and it's something that I really strongly recommend you do anyway. Even if you have no intention of running any type of YouTube advertising, Google AdWords advertising, or anything like that whatsoever, I still recommend you do this because it's free data. You can come back a year from now and then run some retargeting ads just based on the information that you're collecting by taking these steps for free. So I strongly recommend that you follow along and do exactly what I'm about to show you how to do right now. So in order to follow along with the Google Tag Manager tutorial, the end goal here is going to be to eventually create custom audiences inside of Google AdWords. So we actually have to go and do two things in this little video walkthrough. The first thing is create and register our Google Tag Manager account, and also create and register and set up our Google Ads conversion ID. Now, I'm not going to walk you through how to set up a Google Ads account because it's pretty straightforward, honestly. You want to definitely have that set up before you continue with this video. I also very strongly recommend that you go and set up your Google Tag Manager account before continuing with this video. You don't have to install any code in order to continue with this video, but I strongly recommend that you go through the sign up process before continuing. So pause the video, come back once you've set up your Google Ads account and you've set up your Tag Manager account. All right, you're back? Okay, perfect. Let's go in and look at exactly how to do this. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is set up our Tag Manager account. Now, I've just set up this account here. It's obviously on a demo. It's not real. There's no real data going in here. Here's the exact steps that you will need to do. Now, if you've just set up your Tag Manager account for the first time, you probably had a window pop up that looks like this with a bunch of code on here. That's what we're going to need to grab. So again, if you accidentally close that window by mistake, you're probably on this screen right now. Go to the Admin tab, go down to install Google Tag Manager, and it's going to give you this code right here. This is what we need to go and grab right now. So I'm going to click Control C to go and grab this code. And then what we're going to do is install this on whatever page builder you use. So again, whether you're using ClickFunnels, WordPress, InstaBuilder, Elementor, Leads Pages, whatever it might be, you're going to be able to do this in some shape or form. And if you can't, just go ahead and contact the support of your page builder. They will tell you exactly how to do this, because I assure you they probably get asked this multiple times per week. So I'm going to show you how to do this first of all with ClickFunnels. So I'm going to go ahead into my dummy funnel here. I'm going to go over to settings for the funnel, and I'm going to install this here in the head tracking code. Now, if I go back here to Tag Manager, you'll see there's also an additional piece of code we need to grab here. I'm going to go grab this, copy this, back to ClickFunnels, and inside the body tracking code, I'm going to go and paste that piece here. Now, before we continue, it's worth pointing out, if you're using a page builder that does not give you the option to put in the body tracking code here, maybe there's just an option for header or footer, you can go ahead and take this extra piece of code right here at the bottom where it says immediately after opening the body tag. You can go ahead and actually put it just underneath the header tracking code. So you could technically go and just drop it in there just like that. That's just a quick fix. It's a quick workaround. It's unlikely that that would cause any type of negative or any type of thing to break. It's pretty straightforward. Now let's go ahead here down to the bottom, and we're going to click Save and update our settings. And that's it. If you have ClickFunnels, you're done. Every time you create a new page or a new funnel step inside of this funnel, that Google Tag Manager is automatically going to be installed. Now, before we continue and I show you how to do this in WordPress, we need to test to make sure that things are actually working correctly. So much like we did with Facebook, there is a little Chrome extension you're able to install to make sure that your tags are working correctly. It's called Tag Assistant by Google. I've put a link to that just underneath this video so you can go and download it yourself. So make sure that we have this installed before we continue with any type of testing. Now, before I go and actually test this out and make sure everything works, the next thing I'm going to do is actually install this on WordPress and show you just how easy that is as well. So back to Tag Manager, I'm going to go ahead here and grab my big piece of Tag Manager code. I'm going to go back here to my SOGO plugin. Again, you can get that just by going here to settings and down here to header and footer codes. If you don't know what this plugin is, I put a link to it down in the description below. It is called the SOGO header and footer option. So I'm just going to go ahead here and paste it in the header. Now, if you already have your Facebook pixel up here, just go ahead and create a new line and then just paste in your Google Tag Manager just underneath like that. I've actually just deleted mine because I don't want to have a duplicate on here. And then same as before, we're going to go back here. We're going to grab our body tag here, just like this, and back here to our header and footer. And as you can see with the SOGO option, there is no option to put something into the body tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it into the header tag as well. And that's not going to break anything. It's not going to do anything bad to our site, and it's still going to let the code work correctly. So go ahead here and save changes. Everything is saved and perfect. So we need to make sure that it is working. So let's go over here to our opt-in page, and I've already gone ahead and removed the Facebook pixel as I mentioned before. And this little guy right here, this is the tag assistant. So when you first open it, it's going to say that it's currently disabled. So what you want to do is click on enable. Record is also a very cool option, but it's really for much more in-depth testing. So I'm just going to click on enable in this case. I'm going to go up here and refresh the page. And when we come back to the page here, we'll see there's a number 1 here, and we're going to see that we have Google Tag Manager installed right here. Now, right now the tag is not firing because there's no tags that we've embedded inside of Tag Manager. I'll explain what that looks like in just a second, but you just want to make sure that you have a little blue guy here and it has Google Tag Manager and it has this little code here. Now, if you don't know if this little code, sorry, it won't say this particular code. It's actually going to say, if we go back here to Tag Manager, go back to Workspace, it'll be this little code that you have right here. So the one ending in 9PS6 is my particular Tag Manager for this dummy account. And if I go over here, you'll see it ends in 9PS6. So I know that the correct Tag Manager is installed on my site. That's how you install the Tag Manager, but right now it doesn't do anything for us. We have to actually go and install Google Ads within our Tag Manager itself. So before we continue, it's a good idea to point out what the Tag Manager actually is. So the Tag Manager basically allows you to store a bunch, actually it says right here, 50 different tag types. And let me show you what they actually are. So you're able to install Google Analytics in here. You can install custom HTML. You can install the Facebook pixel in here. And basically what this does is it manages all of your different tracking and optimization software that you want to install on your site. So instead of going into your site here and having a whole bunch of ugly pixel codes and things like that in here and not knowing which is which, you can basically manage them all from within inside Google Tag Manager. Now, it can do a bunch of amazingly powerful things in here. You can connect certain attributes and analytics to different people who click on different buttons. It can get very, very detailed and honestly a little bit overwhelming. So I'm not going to be showing you all of those details. I am just going to be keeping this very straightforward and only showing you how to include a Google AdWords retargeting audience. So now that you have your Google Tag Manager installed, make sure that it is working correctly. You get this little blue guy here. Actually, let me enable this and refresh here. Make sure that you have this little blue guy and the number 1, and make sure that this code here links up with this code on Google Tag Manager. Once you're at that step, you're ready to move into phase 2, and that is going to be actually integrating Tag Manager with your Google Ads account. So this is a dummy account. I just set this up about 10 minutes ago, and I haven't obviously run any money through this, but this is an actual Google Ads account that is live. It's never going to have any money run through it, but I thought I'd show you this from a brand new account since most of you watching might not have never actually used AdWords before. Now, if yours looks a little bit different to this, you don't see this when you first log in, go over here to Tools, and there should be an option that says Switch to Expert Mode. And that way you'll know you're in expert mode if you go up here to Tools and you have all these options along the top, just like this. Now, what you're going to do is go back here to Tools, actually, and you're going to go to Audience Manager. And yours will look different. When you first click it, it will probably come over to a page that looks like probably something like this. You're going to have an option anyway that says choose your source or go to audience sources or something like that. So if you go here to audience sources over here on the left hand side, you will see most likely that all of these are ready to be linked to their respective accounts. Now, just to make sure that because this is a brand new account, I wanted to make sure you could do this. I've already connected mine to Google Tags, but I'll show you what happens. So Google Tags will be down here in this list like this, and you'll have an option that says link to Tag Manager or something like that. You're going to go ahead and click on that, and it will take you onto a screen that looks like, sorry, let me go back here, edit source. It looks like this, okay? And what you're going to do is choose collect standard data available from this data source. You're going to go ahead and click on save and continue. And then you're going to skip all this stuff and go right down to the bottom. It'll say use Tag Manager. Go ahead and click that. And this little code, your conversion ID, You're going to grab that. You're going to go back here to Google Tag Manager, and you're going to click on Add a new tag. You're going to go Tag Configuration here. You're going to choose Google Ads Remarketing, and you're going to drop that little piece of code, that little conversion ID right in there like that. You're going to give it a name. We're going to call this Google Ads Remarketing, and you're going to hit Save. And oh, sorry, you need to add a trigger, my mistake. So go ahead and click on triggers here, and you're just going to click on all pages because we want this to fire on all pages. This is not a conversion event. We just want to make sure that every page has this Google AdWords remarketing option fire here. Click on save, and there you go. It'll be set up and it'll be working. Now we just need to test it, make sure that it works. The easiest way to do that here is to go back to our page where we have everything installed. Go ahead and refresh. And we just want to make sure that nothing comes up here in red. Everything here looks good. That's perfect. Go back to Tag Manager and click on the preview button. And that will bring you inside a very cool little preview thing to make sure that everything works. We go back here to one of the pages on our site. We'll refresh it, and there'll be a little kind of developer mode thing down at the bottom here. And as long as you say tags fired on this page, you'll have the name of the tag that you just created, Google Ads Remarketing, and you can see there's your conversion ID. Now, this is going to be really helpful when we go and set up our custom audiences later to go and remarket. But that's basically all you're going to need to have at the very beginning is your Google Ads Remarketing set up. So once you get to this point, you are done for now. Later on, we're going to jump in and I'll show you how to set up your actual custom audiences. At this point though, you have your Google Tag Manager set up and configured correctly. You have Google Ads set up and configured correctly. And later on, we're going to jump in and do some very cool stuff with setting up some cool little ads that we're able to go and run. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go back and watch it again if you're a little confused about the whole Tag Manager, Google Ads integration part. It's actually pretty straightforward if you just follow along click by click as I'm going through. My name is JK Dowdle. This is FUNNELIZE, and I'll see you next time.